Hey everyone, I've got splabulous news! The Culling is coming back! The Culling is coming back! The Culling is coming back. Yes, the Culling, the beloved battle royale game that many would argue is the primordial soup from which the likes of Fortnite crawled. Developer Xaviant is never slow to remind the public that it was among the very first battle royale games in existence, but unfortunately doing something first never necessarily means doing something best. And in Xaviant's case, the last time we saw the Culling, it was doing something worst. It was just being the worst. The Culling 2 was, to put it politely, a fucking monstrosity. In all honesty, it was just absolutely appallingly sad. It was tragic, horribly tragic. Here was this product simultaneously telling us that it was one of the very first battle royale games ever, and contrastingly looking like some cheap PUBG knockoff, and wouldn't at all have been out of place among all of the shitty asset flips vying for attention back in the Steam Greenlight days. And worst of all, no one was playing it. Nobody was playing it. No one. Well, I mean, obviously not literally nobody in the world. At one point I played it for a couple days, but I was one of the best Culling 2 players in the world because there were so few people. I won most of my matches through sheer virtue of no other fucker being there. The most amount of players I ever saw in the Culling 2 in one match was 11. And that was on launch day, and it never got better than that. It only ever got worse. Usually about 2 or 3 people on the entire map, myself included, and this is before we get into how buggy and broken it was. The whole thing was a disaster. It shut down in record time and refunds were issued. And after that disaster, Xaviant is back with a business model that is just baffling. Actually, I'll go one step further and say it's a fucking dreadful business model, and Xaviant are out of their fucking minds. Basically, they're bringing back the Culling as the Culling Origins, and it will cost $5.99, but you can only play it once a day for free, unless you win, in which case you get another match for free. Free. Even though it costs $5.99, they're calling that match free. This can't be right. It can't be right. Jimmy Donnellan from Cultured Vultures linked me to their story on it. That's how I found out about it. Though they did just send out press releases about it, which, Jesus Christ, they're committing to it. And I was reading their story and I thought I was stupid. Now, there are many reasons why I am stupid, but I thought I was being particularly stupid in this case because I couldn't understand. The words were confusing to me, dear viewers. The words were confusing to me when I read them and thought about them inside of my head. And I was sure I hadn't got it right, and I'm still not sure I've got it right because it seems so strange. But Jimmy showed me the official statement from their PR, which is players buy the game and then can play matches a number of ways. There is one free online match per day. They can win an online match which grants a token. They can purchase tokens, oh here we go, they can purchase tokens in packs of 3, 10 or 20, and they can purchase online passes for 7 or 30 days that offer unlimited play. How is that first match free? How is that first? Players buy the game, and then, and then there is one free online match per day. How is that free? What's the $5.99 buying? Is there some extensive offline campaign mode I haven't heard about? There fucking better be. $5.99 ain't much for some games, but those games have content. Here's their tweet about it. The Culling is back, they say, as if the world's rejoicing. Too long didn't read. Servers live Thursday, May 14th. Xbox One now, PC later. Big performance enhancements. Not free to play, but if you ever played it, you have it. $5.99 on Xbox Store if you never played it, one free online match per day, additional tokens options available, and then a GIF. So if you don't have enough online match tokens to keep playing, you can engage with these absolutely ridiculous microtransactions. You can get 3 match tokens for 99 cents, 10 for $2.99, and 20 for $4.99. And remember, you're buying matches. So for $5, You get 20 matches. You get 20 goes on the controller, basically. Otherwise, you can get a 7-day pass for $1.99 and a 30-day pass for $5.99. So why would anyone buy the tokens? What's the point? I don't fucking understand. I don't get what they're doing. It's so stupid I can't tell if it's me. If you listen to what Xaviant's Director of Operations, Josh Van Velde, said, you'll see that Xaviant thinks this business model emphasizes sustainability. Our new approach focuses on sustainability. We've optimized our systems to keep server costs low, and we've shifted our monetization approach to ensure that players will be able to visit the island for years to come. Initially, we're focusing on Xbox One with this effort, but we're working to bring back the PC version in the future. So on paper, to me, this doesn't necessarily look like a sustainable business model. It's a rough pitch for most game developers, but coming off the back of the Culling 2, of such a disaster that needed such a widespread refund, that was so ruinous, this is straight up bizarre. I don't know how $5.99 for one match a day is going to bring any new players in. I could be very wrong. This could suddenly be some dynamite runaway success. I hope not. Not because I've got anything against Xaviant, but I've got a lot against this fucking business model, and I do hope that fucking business model fails. I'm sorry. I don't want any one game to just fail, but if it's got a business model like this, I don't want to see it get popular. I'm sorry. I'm sure in the endless maggot-eaten bowels of mobile gaming, there are all manner of horrible fucking titles with business models similar to this. But ideally, that's where I'd like them to stay. But I gotta wonder if bringing new players in is even the plan. Because this proposal seems like something only a diehard, unquestioningly loyal fan would buy into. Especially since if you already have the game, if you've already owned it before, you don't have to pay the $5.99 to get in. You just have to pay the subscription fee, like you would for an MMO. Except instead of an MMO, it's just the fucking Culling. Unless you don't want to pay the subscription fee, you don't want the pass, you want to just buy access to matches a la carte. Why would you do that? But anyway, this is something we're seeing in certain industries where they're like, we've reached such mass appeal that we're getting diminishing returns on reaching wider audiences, so how can we make more money from the fans we've already built? And that's the only angle I can see where logic plays into this. I think Xaviant's self-aware enough at least to know that it's not gonna be Fortnite, it's not gonna be PUBG. If it ever had a shot at being mainstream in the first place, which is debatable, that shot was thoroughly blown with the Culling 2. But to be sustainable, you don't necessarily need widespread mainstream appeal. You need only attract and keep a core loyal fan base that you can keep like rocks in a strategy game, something you can just mine for recurrent resources. Basically, if the game's market was Dungeon Keeper, it's the difference between sending all of your imps out to mine for gold far and wide, and having them all chip away at those gems that just stand there and keep giving you money. If you've played Dungeon Keeper, you know what I'm talking about. But if you've reached that point, you might as well just directly ask the fans for money. It's going to be a lot more upfront and honest than this horrifically contrived business model. I'm just saying, as a successful Patreon user, you can use that for game development if you want. I mean, you got just as good a shot at funding your server costs via that kind of recurrent crowdfunding as you do of convincing people this business model is going to work. Well, actually, in fact, I think your chances of being crowdfunded would be significantly higher. I mean, how fucking amazing must the Culling origins be to convince people that it's a worthy prospect versus literally any other battle royale? I'll tell you, far, far, far more amazing than it's actually going to be.